Hello. I can't believe I'm saying this, and people are probably going to raise their eyebrows, but you're going to see this in February and I'm still saying Happy New Year. You guys obviously saw my Val d'Isère ski trip, which was excuse me, so much fun. It honestly was such a almost life-changing trip, really. I had never been on a girls' trip before, and do you know what? I mean, I have such incredible girlfriends. I don't have a huge circle of girlfriends, but the girlfriends that I have are so special. So I really do understand how important girlfriends are, but it was just, everything was perfect. I couldn't have dreamt of it going any better, and I think Laura was happy, which is the most important thing. God, I sound really husky. I don't know why. Clearing my throat. Anyway, welcome to my office, i.e. the hallway. I have a desk by the window with a beautiful view over the fields and the sheep and the gorgeous fountain. I will actually show you guys because it is really, really beautiful. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got a really pretty little wire table that was actually my grandmother's. I know I say that all the time. I did get a few little bits and pieces from her, and the birds love it. Actually, look, they're just flying around out there. Oh, there they are. They love it because they go down to the fountain, the little water feature that we have, and have a little bath, and it's just so gorgeous. So sometimes I do find myself dazing into nature when actually I should be working. Anyway, back to the vlog, back to my point. I'm trying to balance you guys. If you suddenly go flying, I apologize in advance. So I really, really wanted to sit down with you as the first vlog of the year to talk about the end of 2022, how everything finished up, 2023 goals, ambitions, intentions, wish you a happy new year, and talk business. However, life sometimes does not go to plan. And you know what? That's okay. I think that's my biggest thing. I know it sounds cliche, but life is a journey and we go in all different types of directions, and sometimes we get to a door that's closed, so you climb through a window, and that is okay. That essentially is your story. And what I think is the most important thing is that everybody understands that you have the pen. You are writing the story. So that's really what I wanted the first vlog of the year to be. However, like I said, it didn't happen that way. The girls' trip had to come first because I felt like I couldn't not share it, and I hadn't filmed this vlog before the girls' trip because I was so unwell. So here we are. We're filming it now. You're seeing it in February, but as I said, that is okay. So let's jump straight into this vlog, she says, 4 minutes into the vlog. Anyway, I hope all of you had the most special and beautiful Christmas and New Year and all those festive activities. And I just hope you all had a really happy and, yeah, a time that's just filled with so much love. I had the most wonderful Christmas filled with happiness and love and my family, and I'm very lucky, and I am just so grateful for my life. Really, that's I hope, if anything, you guys know about me is that yes, I am privileged. I'm extremely privileged that I have food on the table and a roof over my head and a family that loves me, but I was so ill. And especially when you're in that moment, you're not really feeling very grateful, really very lucky. You're just feeling very sorry for yourself. And that was me. That was me. So end of last year, I, as you guys know, tried to do Vlogmas. I'm going to take a little seat here. I wish I had a cup of tea. Maybe I'll go make a cup of tea in a moment and come back. And I didn't really intend for this to be a heart-to-heart, but we're going there. So end of last year, let's talk about December. I was running around like a headless chicken. I had so many balls in the air, just constantly juggling. And do you know what? That's what life's about, and I love juggling. But I've got to be honest, it got too much. I was missing out on all the things that make Christmas special, and that lead up in December, and those wonderful Christmas drinks parties and family dinners. And my biggest goal and ambition last year for 2022 was to say yes to everything. And I loved every single moment of it. But in hindsight, wasn't my smartest idea, because I find it very, very difficult to get the perfect work-life balance. I suppose there's no such thing as perfect, but perfect for me and perfect for my work and my personal life. And unfortunately, I had no idea how hard that was going to be. And I will hold my hands up and say that I navigated that very, very badly. Especially in December, it sort of came to a head in December, which I'm really grateful for, because obviously it's the last month of the year. As long as I could get through that month, I knew I'd be fine. Well, beginning of December, amazing. I shot some of the most incredible campaigns I think I've ever shot, and I'm so proud of the work, and what we created is truly spectacular. But I also tried to do Vlogmas. I also had new clients. I had all my concierge clients, where obviously Christmas is one of the busiest times of year because of gifting and buying. I had one of my Bicester Village events, Luxury by Leonora. There were so many balls in the air, which I adore juggling. I think life's about juggling, but it depends upon how many balls you've got. No one take that out of context, please. Anyway, I worked until the 23rd, and then on the 24th we drove up to Glasgow for Christmas with Marcus's family, which was just heavenly and wonderful. Unfortunately got really, really sick. I sort of was sneezing and coughing a little bit on the drive up, and I was thinking, oh no. You know when you're trying to hide it? So Mark was like, are you sneezing? Was that a sniff? I was like, no, I'm fine, I feel great. Literally dying. Not to be dramatic, but it was horrific. I felt horrendous. Anyway, back to December, back to the point. I was working so much that I felt like I missed out on so many things that were going on with my family and my personal life, and my husband was going to all of these drinks parties and dinners with friends, and I wasn't there for any of it. I wasn't there for him, and I wasn't showing up. But my career is so important to me. But I think you have to make time, and I suppose my schedule needed to be better. Essentially, everything needed to just be better. I loved my work. I was so proud of it. I was working so hard, and obviously Vlogmas. But I had all of my day jobs and my day life, and trying to film and trying to edit. The editing, oh my goodness. Why did no one tell me about this editing? Josie, you were the one that talked me into this. You did not tell me about the editing. Anyway, this is how sad the whole thing got. I would finish from one of my clients at sort of like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Gosh, that sounded dodgy. I worked at a hotel, luxury hotel restaurant, and my clients obviously wanting to go for dinner in the evenings. I would sit there, have to entertain them, speak to them, make sure that the dinner went the way they wanted, obviously private dining, champagne on the table, and just have wonderful conversations with my clients. That is essentially my job for that particular brand. So I wouldn't come home until about 10 or 11 o'clock, and I'd cook dinner and I'd see Mark, and he'd wait up for me and we'd go to bed. I would wait for him to fall asleep. I would make a life-sized sausage pillow situation, get up and edit until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and start the whole day again. I'm young, it was for December. I thought my career, YouTube, I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful for the incredible community I have here. I didn't want to let you guys down, and I felt like it wasn't enough. Like there was so much going on and I could film everything. It was the time to edit and also juggle my other roles and my other jobs. I was severely underwater. I drowned at this point. I was a goner. I was down the riverbed. Anyway, I finished work on the 23rd. We drove up to Glasgow on the 24th. I was as sick as a dog. I feel so bad that I couldn't go to Glasgow and be Leonora and be like the bubbly, fun, positive, loving person. I was so miserable. I was so homesick. I was so ill. I remember I was wearing this beautiful cashmere ensemble on Christmas Day, and I literally had sweat dripping off my face. I was so clammy. I was like putting loo roll underneath my armpits to try and I couldn't eat anything. Didn't want to speak. I just wanted to lie in bed and just feel sorry for myself and sob. I couldn't even FaceTime my mum. I was so homesick and so upset, and obviously seeing all the festivities that were happening at our family home made me just miss it so much more. But anyway, Mark's family was so kind. They looked after me. We had the most wonderful Christmas day. And then I continued working. So I worked between Christmas and New Year, that sort of lull when no one knows what day of the week it was. I very much knew what day of the week it was, what time, and when my meetings were. Again, I worked New Year's Eve, which I loved. We have every year this incredible Hurley House extravaganza gala New Year's Eve, and it was amazing. We had the Overtones, the It Girls, the band was incredible, but again, I wasn't with my family, I wasn't with Mark. And I think, looking back last year, I'm so proud of what I achieved, and I'm so proud. I have this book, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit in a moment about it, and the power of manifesting and writing things down and taking them off. I don't really want to go through the exact things, but if you guys can see that, it's a little list here, along with my bank details on my banking passwords. Maybe I'll cover that up. And every single one of them is ticked off, which I'm feeling so proud of myself. I know that sounds like a really big-headed thing to say, but it's so important to recognize the fact that you're actually achieving those goals. Anyway, like I said, we'll come back to that. I learned from last year that I have to have a better work-life balance. There is no such thing as perfection, but there's being better, and that's what I've promised myself, and I promised my family that, do you know what, I'm not going to say yes to everything. So last year was yes to everything. This year I've got to learn to say no. So that's what I'm doing. I can't believe Leonora is saying no. Doesn't sound right, but it is. All in all, 2022 was the most incredible year. I learned so many things. I grew on so many different levels as a person, as a businesswoman, as a team. We hit 10,000 subscribers, which I'm like, my mind blown. And I have so many people to thank for that, really. First of all, you guys, I have the most incredible community on here. You guys are so kind, and essentially you have my back, and I love that. You know, I'm all about women empowerment and women in business and entrepreneurial boss ladies, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without you guys. So thank you so, so much. Also, I know I always say this, and I know you guys love her, and I absolutely love her as Josie. I wouldn't have even picked up a vlogging camera without her, and I was so nervous at the beginning. I was like, well, what if people laugh? What if people say, oh, who does she think she is? But people do that every day. To put it bluntly, they still do it. She was like, well, there are people that are going to love you, and there are people that are going to hate you, but do you care? And the problem is that I cared. Now if you don't like me, don't watch me, because I've got so many of you guys that do, and I love you because I get so much pleasure out of just reading your comments and knowing that I bring just a little bit of positivity to your life. So I cannot thank you enough. So anyway, as I said, yeah, I just didn't stop. So unfortunately, the viral infection that I had went onto my chest. I then got a severe chest infection. I didn't get antibiotics quick enough. I kept working, and then I got pneumonia. 27 with pneumonia. Not fun. Really not fun. The back pain, yeah, it wasn't great. So the antibiotics were definitely helping with the pneumonia, but the viral infection wasn't clearing up. It was like I don't know whether anybody suffers from migraines. I call them migraines. A lot of people call them migraines, whatever you call it, you've ever had. I mean, I was blacking out. I couldn't look at light. I couldn't switch on my phones. I couldn't do anything. I literally didn't want to eat, drink, talk, or even move. Every single bone in my body was so physically and mentally exhausted. And then I had pneumonia, so I was coughing, and the pain from the coughing. Anyway, let's not go there. The only way is up. My doctor then told me that the best thing would be to get on a plane and go and find some sunshine. And I know that that's not accessible to everybody, and I'm so lucky and fortunate that I could just book the cheapest flight I could find and fly to Palma. So my main goal and drive was to feel well enough to get to the airport, to get on a plane, accompany Mark to Mallorca. We have just bought a house there, if you guys don't know. So watch a couple of other vlogs back and you guys will get fully up to date with that. So we had builders starting, and so all I wanted to do was to feel okay getting on a plane. I had the green light from the doctor, and I had these painkillers that were masking this pressure in my head. I got in the sky, I literally felt like my eyeballs were going to pop out of my head. The pressure was obscene. It was barbaric. Anyway, I got there, I was fine. I just took a few days. I hardly posted anything on Instagram. I didn't wash my hair, I didn't put makeup on. I literally just followed Mark round like a little puppy. I think he probably loved it. I just needed time to just switch off, detox. So I didn't pick up my phones, I didn't pick up my camera, so unlike me, but I just needed time. In the most simplest form, I experienced severe burnout. Nothing could have made me pick up my phone or my camera. I have 2 phones, 2 computers, and a vlogging camera, and I seem to be able to hold all of them at once and simultaneously work all of them at the same time. It's a talent, but also a downfall. Anywho, so completely switched off, and I was just focusing on the girls' trip, trying to get back to myself, try and get back to being healthy, get off of this awful medication that quite frankly was making me feel probably even worse. I just felt so numb and exhausted. So I switched off. I spent a few days with Mark. I didn't wash my hair. I didn't put any makeup on. I feel quite guilty. I think Mark thought he was going away for a romantic weekend with his wife. And yeah, I looked like death. Yeah, really beautiful. Sorry about that, baby, but he always says to me that everybody else gets the glamorous and the happy and the really positive and bubbly Leonora. I get you looking like that. Anyway, hopefully that's why he loves me. Anyway, moving on, I then came home, packed my bags and went to Val d'Isere for 5-6 days with my girlfriends. It was wild. Obviously you guys saw the vlog, you came with us, you experienced the whole thing, and it was so much fun. I don't think I've ever smiled or laughed so much in one trip. And the most important thing is that Laura loved every moment of it, and I just feel really lucky to have been one of those girls that she chose to go away with her to celebrate such a massive milestone in anybody's life. 30 years is just such a huge achievement, and I think, yeah, we did a great job of celebrating with her. So probably after about 4 hours of chatting away, we are getting back to the point of this vlog, which is goals, intentions, ambitions, and dreams, how to achieve them. And 2023, what are those big things that we want to do? What are those big things we've been manifesting? And in the simplest form, how we're going to make them happen. Because every single one of them is achievable. And anybody, whether you want to, I don't know, pick the most wildest dream, pick it out of the sky, as long as you create goals that are manageable and that you can do, every single one of them can become a reality. I think the one thing that upsets me the most about when someone says, well, what's your goal? What's your dream? And they follow it with the words, be realistic. Leave the room. Leave the room. Because they're not on the same page as you. You don't need to be realistic. I know I'm probably going to get a load of comments down below being like, well, you can't go and buy a Rolls Royce tomorrow. Well, no, I can't go and buy a Rolls Royce tomorrow because who realistically, hate that word, can? But I can put it down as a goal. I can then create my business plan for the year. I can then make subconscious decisions on how I want to spend my money in order to be able to save for that. And essentially my dream is to one day drive a Rolls Royce and own a Rolls Royce. And that's going to happen. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's probably not going to be next week. It's most certainly not going to be next week. Or essentially my Rolls Royce. Might be somebody else's. Yeah, so really that's what we're going to do today. And I just want to show you a couple of things that help me set my goals, set me up for the day, how I write things down. And I mean dream big, guys, dream huge, write it all down. So you have lots of lists. I love lists. Now let's get into the basics and the fundamental tools that you need in order to essentially make it happen. So I have, where is my diary? Here's my diary. I have a beautiful diary. This is actually a new diary. My old one I had for years and years and years, and I've always wanted a Louis Vuitton diary, and Mark kindly bought it for me for Christmas. And it's fantastic. It's one that you just have inserts, and it's something I will have forever. So number one is a diary. Essentially, it's got to be a layout that you can see. You can write down all of your appointments. You've got notes, you've got contacts. I think Filofax is also really, really good when it comes to inserts. They have so many different options. So one thing I could not live without is my diary. And also, I've been told, I don't know whether it's just a horrid rumor or it is true, but apparently Louis Vuitton is discontinuing their iconic print. I should probably know that myself, being in luxury, but I mean, if anybody knows whether that's true, please let me know below. I mean, that's going to be devastating, but equally I'm so grateful to have been able to buy one of these. Next thing that is so important is having a notepad. Now this is one that I have had for years. It still has my old initials on it, much to Mark's disgust, and I adore it. I literally put everything in here. It's zippable. I love a zippable notepad. And again, it's something that will last you for years. And every single year I just buy the notepad insert. And people who work with me will know that this comes everywhere. This notepad could genuinely destroy me. It has every single thing in it, from personal things to passwords. I probably should not be admitting to this. It has all of my goals, my to-do lists, strategy meetings. Every single meeting that I hold with a brand, I have minutes in this diary. I haven't quite converted to tech yet. Obviously, I am pretty tech savvy, having a career on social media and vlogging. However, I have not got to the point where I am taking minutes online yet. So for me, and something that I would recommend to all of you, is buy yourself, or ask for a gift, I suppose, from somebody else, a beautiful notepad, something that you can take with you everywhere, and something that is so gorgeous that it really inspires you to think big. And so I was saying earlier in the vlog that I use this notepad and I write down all of my goals, and I'm so proud to say that I've ticked off every single one of them last year. I actually just had a weekend with one of my best friends. She really is the most special human being in the world, and I'm so grateful to have her. Like, I know that sounds so weird. Anyway, we had a girly weekend because her boyfriend, her fiance, is in Chamonix skiing, and Mark is currently back in Mallorca with the builders and organising the house. There's so much going on there. Anyway, so we had a girly weekend. I wrote down all of my goals for this year, and really that's anything from, I'll read you a couple of them, because I mean, goals are very different to different people. And right, let's find my goal list. Gosh, I've had a lot of conversations since then. Okay, one of my goals is to hit a pretty big number. I mean, not a big number when it comes to those very successful YouTubers, but a big number for me on YouTube. I'm not going to say the number because I feel like I might jinx it, but if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, then please do, because you will be helping me achieve my goal. Again, I want to grow on Instagram and work with a list of dream brands. So I've also created that list of brands. And then actually, when I talk about making those dreams into reality, the small steps are finding the right people to speak to. So finding the PR management, finding the communications managers that work for those brands, and sending emails, because essentially in life, if you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as that. And I feel so passionately about what I do and the niche that I'm in. And I have such a deep, deep passion for great British brands, craftsmanship, and just exceptional quality. And I have clients that adore that too. So essentially, I feel that I can bring so much to the table, and being able to sell myself in the right way to the right person is one step closer to being able to tick off and achieve that goal. So when I sit down to create my business strategy, ambitions, gosh, I think I've said goals a zillion times in this vlog. By all means, have fun and tell me how many times I've said goals. I break it down. And someone who helped me, like life-changingly helped me, is Roxy Nafusi. I read this book, a very dear friend of mine, and again, another situation, one of my best friends, and really my best friends. I'm one of her bridesmaids. If I had known her before, she would have been mine. I met her through Instagram. I reached out because she actually was the head of PR for one of my dream brands, and I said I'd love to work together. We had a meeting and we've been inseparable ever since. So backstory, that girl, best friend, told me to read this book, and it has changed my life. It just unlocks the magic of manifesting, and you can subconsciously be manifesting something without even knowing it. And I know a lot of vloggers and I know a lot of people are sort of like, oh, you can't manifest to be a billionaire. No. I think you do need to be somewhat, I'm going to say the word that I hate, realistic. But this helps you achieve your dream life. So I read this book and it broke down a way of setting goals for the year. And really that's what I call a strategy. So these were my sections. You don't have to have 5. You may have different areas in your life that you want to cover. But mine were career, of course, number 1. Terrible. Personal development, love and romance, family and friends, and house, home. So those were my headings. Now, for me, my work side was enormous. It massively outweighed the other sides. And it can be even really, really small things, like in my personal development side. A really, really powerful line that I wrote here is that I want to feel happy. Now, to so many people, that means so many different things. And you're probably looking at this and actually feeling a bit sorry for me. I think happiness comes on so many different levels, and there's being happy in your personal life and there's being happy in your work life. And I think if you are truly happy in yourself, then you can bring happiness to other people. Gosh, that was rather deep. Anyway, so create your headings, whether that's work or career. You've got personal, love and romance. So under love and romance, as I was saying earlier in this vlog, one of my biggest intentions, goals, ambitions, it comes under every single heading, is making more time for me and my husband and protecting that time. I put my phone on silent, and I'm so bad. I'm so guilty. My phone pings and I look at it. I sit up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning coming up with different ideas and creating content. And my worst time, and I don't know, someone up there does it to me, in the fact that I feel like my most creative time is when I've actually closed my eyes and I'm meant to be quietening down for the evening. That is when I come up with the most insane, incredible idea for a particular brand that's never been done before. And I'm just like, oh, I want to get up and I want to write some notes and I want to write my lists and set those goals that are achievable in order to create that dream. Literally as simple as that. Oh my goodness, my schmoes. Odie's outside having, well, who is he with? Hopefully he'll come a bit closer and I can show you guys. This is what I mean. Oh, there's my Schlotzville. Schlotz! I end up looking out this window for hours on end. Back in the room. So I would massively recommend buying this book. So it says, are you ready to unlock the magic of manifesting and unleash your limitless potential? Yes, I am, and yes, you are. Buy the book, read it. It is truly incredible. And what I love the most about this book is the science of manifestation. And I think what's incredible is that Roxy really took the time to create areas in the book where it's an exercise. So here you'll see, this is why I could never give my book to somebody else, because otherwise I would literally just give it to one of you. For example, this exercise, because I feel like I can read this one to you. It says, make a commitment to yourself to do them every single day for 60 days, which is the said number in order to make something a habit. So for example, it says, I will wake up at 7 a.m. every day. I will journal every evening before bed. I will exercise every morning, whether it's just a walk, a stretch, or a HIIT class. Now, they were her examples. So all in all, buy the book, it's absolutely exceptional. And then at the beginning of this year, I also bought her second book. I haven't actually had time to read this book. This is called Dive Deeper, again by Roxy Nafousi. And this says, unlock your limitless potential, create lasting transformative change, and turn your dreams into realities. Like, that's what I'm saying to you guys. It is possible. It's genuinely possible. This particular book dives deeper into a healing journey and expands your understanding of each of the unique 7 steps of manifestation. Roxy provides practical techniques to teach you how to harness your potential and confidently step into your power. Now, again, that's something else that I hope you guys know about me. I want to empower women. I think that women can do it all. So those are just a few books I have absolutely adored. Again, podcasts, The Diary of a CEO is insane. I love every single person that he has interviewed. Genuinely so insightful, educational, and actually a lot of them rather emotional. So I would highly recommend going and watching those. But really this was going to be a sit down, a little bit of a heart to heart to talk about the end of last year, the beginning of this year, and really what my intentions and my goals are. This year I feel is going to be the biggest for growth. My business, I want to literally flourish into my dream businesswoman and actually show up as her. I'm already her. I'm already taking the steps to be her and to become her. Gosh, so many hers. And essentially, like, this is my path. I am willing to work my butt off, excuse my language, in order to make things happen. And I feel that with my endless lists, my notepads, I have massive dreams. And you know, a lot of people will roll their eyes and raise their eyebrows, but I'm going to smash it. And the best thing is that I have you guys, and I'm going to bring you along with me for everything. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to show you the incredible days, the fun bits, the glamorous side of my life, but also the days that I feel anxious, and the days that I don't know whether things are going to work out, and the days that every single email I had was negative. And do you know what? As my mum says, when one door closes, another one will open. Well, my tactic is to literally climb, to hammer that door down. If one brand says no, turn the other direction. Go bigger, go better. This year, I'm going to be a whole lot more strategic. I have my dream brand list, and I am going to try and achieve them all. But do you know what? Some brands might say no, and that's when you then figure out another direction. Maybe things happen for a reason. I genuinely, categorically believe in everything happens for a reason. Maybe it wasn't meant to be for you. Maybe someone was protecting you from something, but you turn, you go bigger, you go better, you literally knock that door down. And that's me. That's who I'm going to be this year. So again, something else that so many people ask are, what are my goals and my ambitions for this year? And I have so many things that I want to achieve. Some are small, some are big, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the sort of broad spectrum is to obviously build my business in the most incredible way possible. Build a brand, create a product, that's all I'm going to say. Another one of my goals for this year is to have a better routine. In this line of business, routine is really difficult because every day is different. Some days I'm at home, some days I'm in London, some days I'm actually based at the brands that I work. I've got clients, I'm meeting with clients, lots of dinners, drinks parties. I'm traveling a lot at the moment, and so routine is so hard, and I need to really focus on that. So literally being in bed at a specific time every single night and switching off my phone. And that then leads on to another intention and goal for myself this year, is to have much better work-life balance. I'm going to say much better. As long as it's better, then I'm one step closer to where I want to be. I really struggle, and I'll admit that I'm terrible at balancing my work and my personal life, and I never know when to stop. I think it's probably a good problem to have, that I love my job. I love speaking to you guys. I love my following on Instagram. When a client messages me in the evening, I should probably say, oh no, I'll reply to that in the morning, but I don't. And it's hard because I think that's probably why my business is the way that it is, and the fact that it is successful. But also I do need some time for myself, and I need to have some time for my personal life. I keep saying personal life. I'm like, cut, not going in the vlog. Anyway, eat, sleeping well, working out, nourishing my body, because essentially if my body is healthy, mind, body and soul, I will show up so much better and be the best possible version of myself. That's exciting. I'm also hiring, which is barbaric to me. I am one that is really reluctant to relinquish control. I love doing everything myself. I like it to be a certain way. I'm a perfectionist and I struggle to let go of certain things, but I think I've got to a point where I need help. I've got to get help. If I want to grow in the way that I do, I need somebody that knows far more than I do. And I'm talking in multiple areas of my life. So I'm very excited to have a new PR agency to be working with, and they're incredible, an amazing team. I've known them for absolute years, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable and confident. Fashion weeks, you guys are going to see it all here, which I am beyond excited about. This vlog is more than likely going to be so long. To wrap this rambling heart to heart all together and bring it to an end, I just want to say a massive thank you if you are still watching. As I said, this year is going to be huge and I just can't wait to share it with you. I hope you have enjoyed watching my little tips and tricks as to how I set my goals and really what to expect from this year. I have a crazy afternoon, so I really do need to skedaddle. I'm actually interviewing this afternoon, which is beyond crazy. Very excited, can't wait to meet the girls. I'm also filming a lot this week, so we have a morning routine tomorrow, so I can't wait to share that. I'm also filming a day in the life in London, back-to-back meetings, so many exciting things and lots of things that you guys have asked for in terms of my career, how I do things and yeah, how it all works. And then I'm also filming a luxury haul at the weekend. So make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to be in the know. And thank you so much again. Have a wonderful evening.